Welcome to your favorite channel, The Law Circuit, a channel dedicated to having various discussions on the current legal topics. We are here to simplify legal issues for you and make it more accessible to the common man. Ma'am, you mentioned compulsory license as a hurdle. Can you please explain that?
So, India has the provision which is for granting of compulsory license. And this is a provision which has been there in the Indian law right from the beginning. Even in 1970, we had the compulsory license provision. And this kind of a provision exists in various countries. It's not just India. There are many countries who have granted compulsory license. You would be surprised to know that Canada at one time had granted some over 200-300 compulsory licenses. And way back in the 1940s, before the Second World War, there were many compulsory licenses which were granted even in the UK. And you may recall about the anthrax controversy, the anthrax thing which had come up. At that time, the US was in a position to say, Mr. Bayer, I'm going to issue march-in rights. So there are such things that happen. So India's compulsory license is a special regime where if there is a particular product which is not worked in India, which is not sold in India, then someone from the public, which is a company who has a special interest in that particular product, can go to the controller of patents and then he can say that I am in a position to manufacture this drug and I want to put it in the market, give me a license. So normally you will go to the patent owner and you will ask him for a license. But if the patent owner doesn't grant you a license, it is possible for you to approach the patent controller and ask him to give you a license so that you can put the product in the market. It's very simple. It's like this. Let's say there is a novel. It's a very interesting novel, everybody likes to read it. But the author is either dead or we don't know where that author is. And we want to translate that book into several languages so that people are able to read it. So then you go to the court and then you file an application that give me a license. Otherwise, you would have actually gone to the author. Now author is missing. So you go to the court and say, give me a license so I want to translate it. And maybe the court will consider your application and then they may grant a license. So similarly here, compulsory license is a situation where the patent controller will issue licenses to some people, one person or many persons, whoever is interested in making the drug, of course subject to satisfaction of very stringent conditions. Till today, India has issued only one compulsory license, that is with respect to a kidney cancer drug, kidney and liver cancer drug, which is called sorafenib. And thereafter, India has not issued any other compulsory license. But this is a very important right which we must retain in our law, because if there is another pandemic like COVID which comes up and there are drugs that are patented, then public health again is paramount. You are not going to wait and say that Mr. So-and-so has a patent, let me wait for him to supply the drug, and if he doesn't supply the drug, then we will see what happens. You can't allow lakhs and thousands of people to die just because someone has a patent. So that applies across the board. And that's why this particular provision is a very important provision which is in public interest, added in our law. And I believe our government, our legislature is very wise and they will consider to keep it, and they may not actually succumb to the US report or any other report and just weed it out simply because some reports believes or says that it is a hurdle to conduct their business in India. So I think compulsory license is a provision that we should be having and which would still continue to go.
That was all from my side, ma'am. Thank you so much for explaining such a complicated 301 report to us in such a simplistic manner. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, The Law Circuit, as we will be repeatedly coming back with you with such latest updates. Thank you.